Hello everyone and welcome to race 3 in the GB3 Championship in the opening weekend of the season. We've had 2 amazing races so far and it's time to end the weekend on a high. Is Wes after missing race 2 due to time zones, and well Wes, time zones are just this amazing thing, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. It was going to be 4 o'clock in the morning when race 2 was on, so but I've since gone up and I watched that race. It was pretty epic, pretty interesting. So I'm all up to date.
Yeah, so it's going to be quite a lot of fun and we cannot wait to get started. Now, as you mentioned, you watched the race, and unlike race 1, we did actually have quite a bit going on. We also had our first major accident of the season, didn't we?
We did, yes. I'm hearing 2 people in my ear at all points. Yes. So it was a Dion Gouda and Tino Elazari. The Dion Gouda Elazari accident was flagged by the stewards. Unsurprisingly, Dion Gouda was judged to be the offender there, and he's been given a 3-place grid penalty, which means he will start from.
Yeah, so Dion Gouda will find himself starting from 6th position in the contest as well. So it's going to be quite a lot of fun to see how it is all going to play out, Wes.
Yes, absolutely. A couple more stewards' decisions. If I can go through those really quickly.
Yep.
So the other one is Mr. Lucky. This weekend, Dion Gouda. He was so the reason he started at the back of the race 2 was because his team discovered an issue with the survival cell of his car. Now, for safety reasons, they had to replace that. That, of course, was breach of the park Ferme regulations, and so. Instead of any disqualifications, he was allowed to start race 2 and 3. However, it will be from back. Unfortunately for race 2 as well, staying with Bear Club, he was given a 5-second time penalty for exceeding limits. It dropped him from where he finished 14th. He down to 22nd. The other one was who a little too hard from pulling during race 2. He was weaving about too much. The stewards gave him as well a 5-second penalty, dropping him from 6th to 15th. That is, of course, because the race finished under the safety car.
Yes, absolutely. So really, really interesting when it came to the penalties. Okay, well. The world feed is finally coming on as well, a couple of minutes late. We went on time, but yes, very, very interesting. And Wes, if we can, of course, you've given us all of the technical information, but when it came to your overall thoughts on race 2, how did you find it?
Yeah, it's coming on. Yeah.
After 2 excellent races here at Silverstone this weekend, we have 1 more left in the first round of the 2025 GB3 Championship, and it's the reverse grid race, meaning Keanu Al-Azari will start on pole position with Will McIntyre 2nd and Kai Darianani starting 3rd. The reverse grid race has thrown up some epic adventure, some epic action and some epic overtaking, and we are expecting nothing less in this final race of the weekend. I'm John Jackson, joined of course by former British F3 driver Piers Pryor to talk you through all the action as we look forward to this race, Piers, that can throw up some pretty exciting moments.
Yep, of course, partial reverse grid, so we're going to see the dominance of Freddie Slater maybe muffled a little bit. So it's a good talking point, an opportunity for some of the drivers that didn't quite extract everything in qualifying to get a good result, get some points on the board. But also don't forget those bonus points for overtaking. 1 point additionally for every place you move forward in this race, which encourages overtaking.
Yeah, an absolutely huge deal. We're here on the lawn of the BRDC Clubhouse in Silverstone, which is a very nice area. Lots of trophies around, lots of very famous and very accomplished people. We can see not British F3, FIA F2 driver John Bennett walking behind us here. We're live, John. We can't talk to you right now. Maybe in a little while. He's too big for us now. He's too big for us now. In fact, Piers, while we watch the highlights, I actually spotted a couple of other friendly faces just around that corner. Oh, yeah. Just behind Sterling Moss there, Sir Sterling Moss. And I reckon you should go and chat to them while we watch the highlights of race 2.
Right. Highlights from race number 2 of the GB3 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. Of course, once again, it was Freddie Slater from pole position. It was a good start, though, from Noah Lyle to get straight to the outside in the first corner, straight around the outside and into second position. Also some good movement in the background. Al-Azhari will go out right for the second race in a row, as this whole battle before a safety car, courtesy of a couple of stallers on the grid. Kai Darianani trying to keep 6th position from Abby Pulling and the rest of the GB3 field. The safety car would come out courtesy of Will McIntyre and Jack Sherwood stalling on the grid. They'd both be returned into the pit lane, and after a single lap the safety car would be able to work its way back in. But an unfortunate scene for Jack Sherwood and for Will McIntyre. The pair of them, though, would be able to continue on with the race. Once the race had started, it was a perfect restart from Freddie Slater. Noah Lyle not able to keep up with the race 1 winner. It was Abby Pulling, though, defending from Patrick Huizenroder, that was catching our attention. Squeezed out a little bit onto the grass in the battle for 7th position, with Sherwood just working his way up the background. Of course, the number 12 there being the battle for 3rd position. It was Nikita Johnson just trying to keep the 2 Rodins at bay behind. Alex Ninovic losing out to Marco Prado. Prado was able to go straight through into 4th position. This was the penultimate lap of the race. Dion Gowda down the inside of Al-Azhari, a bit of a lock-up and straight up and over the rear end. And the race victory margin wouldn't look as big as it really should do, because Freddie Slater absolutely dominated that one to take his 2nd victory of the season. A superb performance once more from Freddie Slater, and again the margin was 8 seconds at one point, but it got dragged its way down to not look super insane, as Noah Lyle would finish 7/10 behind after the safety car. And Nikita Johnson into 3rd position. We already caught up with those 3, and then it's Prado, Ninovic, then Darianani under investigation still for weaving. That one will be dealt with by race control post-race. Abby Pulling in 7th position after dropping back from 6th. Pat Huizenroder in 8th position, with Flusha and Kanato lead the top 10. Outside of the top 10, it's Yamakoshi for Hillspeed, and Siwoo finishing in a 12th position, with Shui in 13th. Started on the same row of the grid as Schwarzer, and they basically finished in the same place. Deacon Fairclough started from the rear of the field and worked his way up to 15th position, with Vanikul finishing in 6th position, with Abrahams, then Nanton, Bostangiev and Flynn Jacks finishing in at 20th position. Those finishing behind that is Bustamante, Sherwood and McIntyre, who had to obviously drop down after stalling on the grid. Al-Azhari and Gowda involved in that incident late on in the race, scoring nothing, finishing 3 laps down.
Absolutely, that was the case indeed. And I'm momentarily coming back up to the commentary box, Wes. Quickly, could we have your thoughts on race 2? I know we had a bit of Discord issues, but yeah, looks like everything's fixed now. So what was your overall thoughts when it came to race 2?
Yeah, I thought it was a great fun race. I thought it was an improvement over race 1. Lots of action and fighting in the pack. We had it was going to be another dominant win from Freddie Slater there. Of course, it finished under the safety car, so his gap came down to nothing. I think it was approaching 9 seconds though towards the end of it. So really, really impressive from him.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's head back over down to the world feed, because they've got Callum Royston, they've got Louis Sharp, 2 drivers who used to be a part of this championship and are also champions as well, formerly of this category.
How have you found the step up from GB3 to F3 so far?
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. I had a lot of fun racing in the GB3 championship last year, so I wanted to come out and support them. Obviously, with the new car, it's pretty cool to see. They look pretty fantastic, so no, definitely good to be here. It's been a tough step up to F3. Obviously, it's a big jump from GB3. It's completely new. It's a new car. It's a new environment. Obviously, all the tracks I've never really driven, so there's a lot to learn, and unfortunately, in the nature of F3, you don't really get a lot of time to learn. But no, it's been all right. The team have done a good job of the new car. I think we're pretty switched on. So no, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, and yeah, it's definitely been a good start so far.
It's pretty cool for the both of you, I imagine, to have champions back to back, now in the same team, but obviously Callum 1 year extra experience. Louis, you must be learning a fair amount off Callum in Formula 3.
Yeah, definitely. He's been there and he's done it. So no, it's good to have a quick driver, but a quick driver with experience. So I think for the team it's good, and for me to learn against it's really good. Because obviously I turn up at these tracks, it's my first time there. Whereas for Callum, he's at least got a year racing at them. So no, it's definitely good learning off him.
Definitely, of course, with 1 extra year of experience. Callum, this is your second year in Formula 3. It's a good place in the championship after the first few races.
Yeah, no, well, we just got to keep working hard, and it's a long season at the end of the day. I think everybody's going to be extremely tight for the rest of the season, especially with how much development and whatnot goes on with these new cars. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it, and we've got a nice bunch this year, and no, yeah, looking forward to it for sure.
Well, great to have our two previous champions in the GB3 Championship. They've both moved up to Formula 3. They've got a new car to deal with this year. But of course, we've got a new car in GB3 this year. Let's look at that in a bit more detail.
The GB3 Championship introduces a new car to the series for 2025, the Tata's MSV GB3025. The new machine is a serious upgrade in the previous generation, with more downforce, greater power and innovations not previously seen at this level of motorsport.
Absolutely true, and well, we've heard that quite a bit throughout the weekend, so I'm going to bring it momentarily back up to us as well. Great to hear from Louis Sharp and Callum Woisen, Wes, and it's great to see that they're here in support of GB3 this weekend.
Yeah, both of them doing extremely well in F3 this year. It just goes to show, I think, what a great training ground that GB3 is for young drivers.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we are seeing so many drivers elect this series as well. We're going to talk more next week regarding GB3 versus FRECA. I know there's a lot of comparisons going on because FRECA have delayed their new car as well, and some of the news with Alpine parting ways and ACI Sport. There's a lot going on with FRECA, so there will be a lot more discussed next week, but this is definitely quite a good championship. Now, a driver who will be a part of both championships, FRECA and GB3, is Freddie Slater. You've already of course heard his name too many times. Freddie Slater, the winner in both race 1 and in race 2. Wes, well, I'm going to put you on the spot here with a prediction. Do you think we could get 3 out of 3?
There's a very good chance of it, I have to say. We've not seen domination like that at this level in quite some time. It's not a very easy thing to do, I must say. In fact, I was curious about this, and so I went to look up when the last time it happened. And it hasn't actually happened in the GB3 era as well. The last time it happened was when the series was still called British F3. Would you like to hazard a guess, Omi, of when the last time it happened?
Well, this is going to be difficult. As I mentioned, it's probably going to be something quite old. Well, it is quite a hard decision. I'm going to spend my time deciding this one. Hopefully I can try get at least a decent guess in. I'm just thinking about all of the drivers, and I'm just trying to think about the champions, because if I can get one of the champions, then there's a huge chance that the champions of the series all did well. Of course, I was thinking to a race in 2022, but as you mentioned, of course, with it not being GB3 at the time, if it was British F4, then that would not be the case. This is so difficult. I mean, while I think more, I'd love to know. Did you think that it ever happened before at this level?
I must admit, I thought I remembered it happening at least once in the GB3 era, but of course I was wrong. I will say the name of the driver who did it, I hadn't actually heard his name in quite some time. Suffice it to say, he didn't go on to race in Formula 1, although he did win the championship in this particular year we're talking about.
Okay, well, quite interesting information. But yeah, we did have that one extraordinary performance, I remember. I can't remember the driver's name, but in 2022, I think we had a double win along with a podium in this category. But, oh, well, this is quite difficult. British Formula 3. Who on earth could have? Jordan King drove in this championship, didn't he? And he was a champion.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hazard my guess towards Jordan King. That's the name that comes to my mind, and I believe he's also a champion of this series from the past.
What year are you going for?
What year was he the champion now? Well, that's even more on the spot, Wes. I don't know what year he was the champion, if I'm honest, for British Formula 3.
Okay, shall I put you out of your misery? It wasn't Jordan King.
Oh, right.
It was the year was 2017, so not all that long ago. I know, I was a bit surprised about that too. And the driver was, and tell me if you've heard of him before. Enem Ahmed was the name of the driver, British driver. Went on to win the 2017 championship that year.
Well, the last name, I feel like I've heard of him, definitely. Somewhere at least. There's been so many drivers. I'll need to quickly take a look and just remind myself where I heard of his name. While I do that, I'm going to momentarily head back over to the two amazing people of Jackson and Piers Pryor.
He's got a clear sight down towards turn one, inside of the first row. Obviously, it's a staggered grid, so it won't have the overall advantage. That will be Al-Azhari, but you know, we've seen at points last year he was able to carve his way through the field. I think he was one of the drivers that made up the most positions in one of the reverse grid races here last year. Of course, new car, a different competition, but he's going to have a go at that. But you know, Deegan, you mentioned him. He's going to have to work hard from the back of the grid.
He is indeed. Pat Herzenroeder is another returning driver with Excel this year. He's also a driver starting on the second row. He's one to look out for as well. Good start from him, and we know what he can do. Yeah, we've seen Pat for all of last season, a few races in the year before. Definitely made strides forward throughout last year, and over the winter he's been racing a lot as well. A lot of races under his belt recently, which means that he's feeling extremely comfortable, and he'll be looking to make some moves, no doubt. Absolutely. One driver we saw a lot of in testing, and
Okay, well, I've just taken a look, and he did drive in Formula 3 momentarily in 2019, so that's where I remember that name from as well. That was quite a fun year of Formula 3, but yes, going a long way back, aren't we? Still, even by the standards right now, and it shows how rare it can be. And well, Freddie Slater has the chance to do it, well, for the first time in GB3, but also at this level for the first time since 2017. Do you know which round it was in 2017 and what circuit it was at? That's really fitting you now on the spot. I think you're muted, Vez. I don't think we can hear you right now as well. There we go. I think it should be sorted.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm back now. Yeah, it was the opening round of that year in 2017. It was Alton Park. So I've done my homework on that one.
Perfect. Alton Park, the opening round of 2017, British Formula 3 at the time, now GB3. Can you do it for the first time in GB3? Can you do it for the first time since 2017, round 1 at Alton Park? That is going to be the question mark. But there are so many other drivers. Of course, our front row, shared by Keanu Al-Zahari and also Will McIntyre, a driver who is going to be really interesting to see. Then you have Kai Dariani directly in behind, Herzenroeder also in fourth. You can see the entire grid right now on your screen. A really, really interesting grid. Who do you think could be some of those drivers who deny Slater those top spots?
Well, just looking at the grid, I'd say there's a fair chance we could see Patrick Herzenroeder for the XL team do quite well. Will McIntyre as well, I think, has been quite impressive. Al-Azhari will want to come back from that horrible accident that he had in race 2, and starting on pole position as well. He'll have a clear track in front of him, and probably will have the best chance. Abby Pulling as well. She's been finishing quite well. in the previous 2 races, so we could see a surprise sprung from her.
We definitely could. And I'm going to put you on the spot once again. I don't know if you've researched this. Have we ever had a female driver to be a winner at this level before?
I mean, I haven't researched. From memory, I believe it was Jamie Chadwick, because I know she drove in this championship. I will have to come back to you on the year, though.
Well, that's perfect, because we are currently taking a look at our circuit that we go racing at, and all of the drivers right now still are in the support series paddock for this one, in the GB3 and GB4 paddock. So we're going to now head over for a tour around this circuit, and we'll let Rez research that one. And I also would like you to check in terms of the podium as well, as you know, Abby Pullen could be breaking some records today, as could Freddie Slater. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go. Let's head back over and get a guide of the circuit down from the Hangar Straight.
We head into our first DRS zone, new for 2025 as well. DRS will be wide open in qualifying, and if you're within a second of the car ahead in the races, to improve overtaking down towards Stowe. All of the road on the left-hand side, off camber through the apex. Easy to run wide on the exit here. Dion does just about stay within track limits. We go down to Vale now, braking hard. 3 gears down, second gear through the apex. Keep it left to open up the first apex of Club, trying to keep it flat out if possible. We now head through onto the Hamilton Straight, flat out through here past the hotel and the wing. The next corner is Abbey, a bit of curb on the left to open up the entry, and we grab 6th gear at the apex, completely flat out once again as we bring ourselves to the left for the entry of Village. Braking and turning, an overtaking opportunity in the race, and tricky to get right in qualifying. Back to the right hand side for the loop, using all of the extra grip we've got from the wider Pirelli tyres to get the power down on the exit here, flat out once again through Aintree onto the second DRS zone here at Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. Another overtaking opportunity going in towards Brooklands. All the curb on the right hand side to open up the entry of Brooklands. Braking and turning, the steering gets very heavy here. That's when the driver's training of the pre-season comes into play. The last corner of Luffield, trying to make it back for the second apex. Doesn't quite do it on this lap, but that won't hurt his lap time. And we head through Woodcote for a lap of the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit in the new, faster and improved GB3 car.
Well, there we go. That's a lap around Silverstone GB3 edition as well. And I believe, Wes, you've been able to figure out the answers to some of our questions.
I did, yes. It was just 1 year after the Enam Ahmed factoid we had for you. 2018, Jamie Chadwick's first year in the championship. She won the race 2, which I believe at the time was the reverse grid race. That was at Brands Hatch, and I think you wanted me to have a look at the podium as well. She was joined by a driver by the name of Krish Mahadek, and third place was Kush Miney.
Yeah, absolutely. I was referring to, in terms of the podium, more about have you had anyone more lately on the podium as well? Because there is a chance that Abby Pullen could get the podium. No, okay.
No, that was the most recent one. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, brilliant stuff. Well, we still have Jackson and Pryor, both right now out there having a look at everything. And, well, before we head back over to them, we've already discussed Slater and the chance of him making it 3 out of 3. What is the chance, do you think, of us possibly being able to get a win from Abby Pulling today?
It's certainly not outside the realms of possibility. Starting from 5th place on the grid, it's going to be difficult. We've definitely seen this weekend that overtaking certainly is not a given, and Pulling herself, we saw in race 2, really struggled behind Kai Darianani. I think at least in part because of his rather unsavoury tactics in defending his position, but even so, it's overtaking is going to be very difficult.
It absolutely will indeed. Overtaking is going to be tricky, but it is the reverse grid race. There can be plenty of chaos. Who knows what we're going to get with safety cars? We're definitely going to see a lot of action. I cannot wait to see how this race is going to play out. Everyone down in the paddock getting ready. Of course, they've just finished a 3-hour British GT race, which was quite interesting. Also, a bit of information regarding the Ginetta race, which you actually mentioned yesterday, Wes, regarding that they had their 500th race as well. So huge congratulations to them. 2 weeks ago, we were celebrating F2's 200th race, which Piers Pryor was a part of as well. He's still with Jackson as they both discuss more talking points ahead of this GB3 race.
Starting 5th then, Abby Pulling with Rodin Motorsport. Of course, her drive this year was fully funded for winning the F1 Academy last year, and I mean an amazing prize, because you know a fully financed drive is quite a lot of money these days, and for her to step up from the F4 car that she's used to driving to this GB3 car, it's taken a lot. And actually we've seen Abby doing a lot of work on her physical fitness. What kind of physical elements do you need to focus on when you're driving these F3 standard cars, Piers?
I mean, it's a big step up in terms of car performance. We touched on it in one of the other shows, but especially for a female driver, because largely females obviously have less overall muscle mass, so they have to work a bit harder to get up to the level. Can absolutely be done. Abby Pulling is showing that, and she's had really good results this weekend. But the main things is really your shoulders, your arms, and your neck, especially the long corners around this circuit. Cops, Maggots, Beckett's, all through Club. It's those long high-speed corners where your neck, there's nothing holding your head and helmet up other than the neck muscles. Even in karting, when these drivers often come from, you can use your whole body, but it's a whole specific type of training, and all of these drivers will have trained hard over the winter. Most people, if they jumped in one of these cars, assuming that they could fit, would only be able to manage 2 or 3 laps before your arms would fall off, your head would be falling off.
They'd fall off?
Well, no, figuratively.
You heard it here first. 2 laps in a GB3 car for a mere mortal, and your arms will literally fall off.
Yes.
I know what you mean.
No power steering, no power brakes, so you have to hit the pedal hard.
I mean, if you've ever been karting, you'll know that a little bit of karting, the next day you're in a lot of pain. Recovery, very, very important. As you can see behind us, the cars are going out. It's the reverse grid race, the 3rd race of the championship this season, the 3rd race of the weekend here at Silverstone. So, for the final time, let's go racing.
Well, here we are then again. It is time for the final race of the weekend. But for the first time in 2025, we hold the reverse grid race. And we're getting all set and ready to go racing once again here at Silverstone for the 2nd time here on this Sunday. It's an incredible venue. In the 3rd round, we make our way through Cops, of course, through Maggots, Beckett's. We have the DRS zone down the Hanger Straight around this circuit, and then we head down to Stowe. A huge overtaking opportunity. Then comes Whale Club, and they battle down the Hamilton Straight. We go through Abbey, and then we find ourselves through the loop onto the Wellington Straight, which is one of our DRS zones, as we mentioned. Brooklands, Luffield, Woodcote, and then we get to the old start-finish straight, which is still the start-finish straight, which is the current start-finish straight here in this GB3 Championship. 18 turns, 2 DRS zones, as we've already mentioned to you, and it's 3.6 miles for the drivers to try and make some overtaking on. And Wes, well, we're getting all set and ready to get this race going. And unlike what we've had so far in the weekend, they get 2 sets of tyres here in GB3. After this, they have no more sessions. They don't have to worry about anything. It's full attack in this race.
Yeah, the tyres, if they have any left, are going to be absolutely shredded by the end of this race, because they're racing drivers. They know what to do. They know how much traction they have left on those worn tyres, and it's going to be a really, really good thing to see, especially with Slater coming through the field.
Here's the grid. Keanu Al-Zahari is alongside Will McIntyre, those two drivers sharing the front row on the grid. Kai Darianani is in third alongside Patrick Husenroder, who will go from 4th position. Abby Pulling is in 5th. Dion Goda, given the penalty, will start from 6th position. Nikita Johnson is in 7th. Gianmarco Pradell, these two drivers delivering us with some fantastic action earlier on. They go from 8th and 7th. Noah Lyle is in 9th. Alex Nunovic starts in 10th position. Freddie Slater is in 11th. And Hayu Yamakoshi is in P12 for Hill Speed. Kanato Lee, his teammate, is directly in behind in 13th. Lucas Flusha is in 14th position. And then we have Yun Pu Sui in 15th. Hugo Schwarz in 16th position. Reza Siwarathan is in 17th alongside Jack Sherwood. And then we get to the drivers in 19th and 20th, and their names are Enzo Tanvanikul in 19th, and Mika Abrams is in 20th position for Fortec Motorsport. Bianca Bustamante starts in 21st. She didn't, of course, participate in race 1. She was back earlier on today. And then it's Stefan Bostanjiv alongside. Flynn Jacques is in 23rd. Divi Nandan starts in 24th place. And then it's Deegan Fairclough having to start race 2 and race 3 from the back of the field. And here we go then. Once again, Wes, we get to the nervy moments.
Yeah, that's right. I just reminded there when you read out the grid that Deegan Fairclough once again starting from the back of the grid. He's been so unlucky this weekend. He'll want to put this event behind him as quickly as possible, but we still should see some pretty epic overtaking, I believe.
Yeah, we should. We didn't. He made loads of overtakes when it came to race 2 earlier on. We just couldn't see any of it as well. There was quite a lot of other things going on that they had to take priority on. Of course, we just watched Nikita Johnson in the high-tech navigating his way through down to the start. Finish straight. We're on the formation lap for the 3rd race of the weekend. It's the reverse grid race. Our live timings will come up into gear in a couple of moments once the race basically begins. The 3 hill speed cars starting basically all together with Slater ahead of Yamakoshi. Then it's Kanato Lee, who luckily did finish with a nose cone this time when it came to race 2 earlier on. Enzo Tanvanikul, it will be interesting to see how he is able to do, but Keanu Al-Zahari getting himself into position.
Yeah, that's right. And I noticed the pink car on the right there, that of Al-Zahari, has had the engine cover completely destroyed in that accident from yesterday. They've had to replace the whole thing, and they didn't, I expect, didn't have time to paint it pink, so it's just going to be bare carbon fibre for this race.
Yep, absolutely. Luckily, though, still very easily identifiable colours. The only driver who is showing that BWT livery with the sponsorship that he has. The final cars are into position. It is time to get going then for the final race of the weekend. It's our first reverse grid race when it comes to GB3 in 2025. It is time to look to the 3 lights that will come on screen. They will immediately go out and the drivers will be racing. Here we go. The lights are on. And the reverse grid race is underway. It's a good reaction time off the line for the pole sitter. And there's going to be contact immediately further back. And there's going to be a big crash immediately. They will continue going and there's going to be more contact. Down at turn number 1, spinning round. And that is going to be Noah Lyle, who's surely off the road. And into the barrier he will go. As we're side by side for the lead. Will McIntyre trying to get it through Maggott and Beckett. As Will McIntyre takes the lead momentarily. We have Keanu Al-Zahari, who's dropped down all the way to 4th position. A chaotic start as Noah Lyle finds the barrier. And Will McIntyre takes the lead.
Absolutely crazy start there. As we said before, very, very little grip on these worn tyres from all the drivers, and contact was going to be inevitable there as they come down to Stowe Corner.
Yep, absolutely. Really, really chaotic stuff then. What a start to the race it has been. They're all still battling their way through, and that's going to be late on the brakes. Keanu Al-Zahari trying to get in the mix. Is he going to be able to do it? Side by side we go. On to the Hamilton straight. Well, no Freddie Slater at the front, and all of a sudden it's all exploded. Here, at the start of this one, there's nothing separating them, and there's going to be contact and a big spin. Big contact there, and we're going to see into the barrier. Is that Abby Pulling who's found the wall? We definitely have Dion Goda, I think, involved in that one as well.
Yeah, I think that was Pulling. She was crashed out of 5th place. She managed to maintain her start grid spot, and the safety car is out now, understandably there. As we slow things down, try to calm everything down, and yeah. So we believe that it is. I think it was McIntyre in the lead.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is only my third race doing GB3, and they're already really trying their absolute best to give me the hardest race possible to call in the opening lap. Really chaotic start. Crashes absolutely everywhere. I mean, we couldn't even identify the cars who crashed down at the start-finish straight when we got going. They were able to keep going. But, yeah, Noah Lyle, of course, had the big moment down into the first. And finally, we get to the safety car. We're going to get an updated order. So, yes, Will McIntyre's in the lead. Keanu Al-Zahari's in second. Hussein Roda is in third. Kai Dariani is in fourth. And then it's Ninovic in fifth. I've never wanted an order more in my life.
I know, unfortunately, the live timing here only updates every lap rather than every sector, so we have to wait with bated breath in order to see what the actual lineup is. So McIntyre gains 1 place on Al-Azhari, and Hoytsenroda did well to get past Darianani. Darianani, I thought, got a very good start, but just couldn't do anything with it because McIntyre and Al-Azhari closed up and just really blocked Darianani from making any progress. Ninovic as well, up 5 positions, as is Yamakoshi, up to 6th place, gaining 6 positions on his grid start.
Yeah, back to the start we go. Let's take a look at what happened further back. So that was the contact of the start, as we saw Will McIntyre try to take the lead away.
Yeah, they made contact, and there was a second contact there, but I wonder if Noah Lyle's race might have been over with that initial contact on the start. But he of course ended up in the barriers. As they went onto the Hamilton Straight, though, it's very hard to tell who made contact with who from this camera angle. But yeah, we believe that it is Abby pulling in the barrier as well as Dion Gouda.
Yeah, again for Dion, more contact being made. Well, that was an absolutely wild start. We had 4 wide down to Cops Corner. I mean, they don't have Abbey Corner, they have Cops Corner instead, which is even more worse when you're heading down into the first turn. And they all decided to go 4 wide. Now, the whole field slows up as we recover Pulling's car along with Gouda's car as well. But yes, that is going to be so many contenders out and so many contenders finding themselves with contact. Let's go back to the start, and it's going to be Noah Lyle who will be making contact down into turn 1, and he will be getting sent around to the first part of the lap when they went 4 wide.
Yeah, Noah Lyle's car, so lucky it didn't roll there. I thought for a second it was going to. I couldn't quite tell who it was that he made contact with. But yeah, he's ended up in the barriers, and his race is over.
Yeah, limited angles, of course, in this championship, compared to, of course, what we're used to. So especially me, with Formula 1, 2, 3, Porsche Super Cup, F1 Academy, all of those that we're used to covering as well. And this basically sometimes makes the Porsche Super Cup look a little bit easy as well. That'll be really fun to cover. That'll be happening in a couple of weeks' time, on the week before the Indy 500, so cannot wait to start the season at Imola. That'll also be the next time that Formula 2 and Formula 3 are back in action. It means that those drivers can come over here if they want, enjoy these races along with some of the other championships that are going on. Of course, we've got the touring cars, which you can catch the stream on the main channel. We've also, of course, got the British GT that was taking place alongside this this weekend. We are here in support of the British GT Championship, and great to see Callum Woysin and Louis Sharp both out here giving their support. And we'll of course hold the FRECA season opener next week, along with the Italian F4 season opener next week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And with Italian F4, anytime I've tuned in, anytime I've had the time to tune in, it's been safety cars galore, so a lot of filling will definitely be needed when it comes to those races, Wes.
Oh no, we're in for it now, Omi. You know what we're like with filling. But anyway, back to the action. While the safety car is still out, for anyone wondering, Freddie Slater managed to gain a couple positions on his grid slot. He's up into 10th place now. So as soon as the safety car comes in, we should be seeing him slash his way through the field.
Yes, so, right, I've just got confirmation. It was Alex Ninovic, Freddie Slater, Gianmarco Pradell, and Noah Lyle who were the 4 wide drivers through Cop's corner. So any three of them would have made contact. I don't think it was Slater, so I wonder if it was Pradell or Ninovic, whoever made contact. It would be nice to get an angle. We're not going to, of course, look for the hill speed car now if we do get another camera angle of that. But yes, we're weaving as well. It looked like initially, it looked like it was a good start from Keanu Al-Zahari, momentarily though only, and then straight away he started bogging down, and you had the chance come in for Will McIntyre to try and make the move, and then they went side by side through Maggots and Beckett, and that was a really chaotic opening lap in terms of action and side by side, a chaotic opening lap in terms of crashes and contact further back, and it's going to be just the final race. I think we are used to seeing this in GB3 final races. It all just goes wild. We can have a calm weekend in race 1, race 2. Same thing in the touring cars. Race 3 just usually explodes as well. So whenever we get to this phase of the weekend, it all just goes crazy, and that is what we love to see as well. To wrap up what has been a great weekend.
Yeah, that's right. The drivers, of course, feel that they've got nothing much left to lose with the onset of race 3. That combined with the fact that, as I said earlier, they're on worn tyres, which they have been on at least at some point throughout the weekend. It just adds to a very spicy mix that we normally see from race 3.
Right. Okay. Let's try to do a better job at identifying this.
Yeah, we're a slightly slow-mo replay. I think there was contact between someone else. It wasn't with Gouda. I think Gouda tried to take evasive action to avoid it and just wasn't able to. But Pulling was hit by somebody else, I believe, in the pack.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. I guess we'll get one look when it comes to the race highlights as well later on. And it will be really interesting to see who actually was that making contact with Pulling. But there was so much going on where you're like, well, that's unbelievable. First of all, the contact that they had off the line, some of the drivers further back, and then we get to the 4 wide at turn number 1 at Cops. So it's going to be, and then later on, of course, on the Hamilton straight, more further contact. So that's just GB3 racing for you. So the incident at turn number 10, the exit of turn number 10 has been noted. That's basically onto the Hamilton straight, that is. So that's the Pulling incident that has been noted. We've got the start line incident noted as well. We've got another incident that's been noted, including the Noah Lyle contact that he had, and his contact, I believe, was, I'm just trying to identify by looking at our systems up here in the commentary box. Here we go. So it was car number 11 that is under investigation, of course. That is Noah Lyle. I've not got a 26 on my entry list, unless that's what it's trying to suggest.
I'm not sure. It's hard to say. It'll be a pretty short investigation if it is Lyle, of course, because he's obviously out of the race.
Yeah, I was gonna try identify who made contact with Lyle down at turn 1, but it says 26. So, well, there's no 26 on our entry list right now at this stage. So that might be a mistake. Freddie Slate's number 27, unless it was him, unless there was a little typo there or something.
Yeah, I'm just where did Lyle start? Lyle started in 9th, so it could very well be Slater that he made contact with. But yeah, difficult to say.
Yeah, difficult to say. I'm gonna go try to see on social media whether we've got any images yet or anything regarding some of those incidents. That's usually one of the best ways to identify and to be able to tell what on earth has gone on here at the start of this GB3 race. But quite chaotic, quite frenetic. The usual race 3 stuff that we get. We've got a very long safety car period. We get 25 minutes of racing. We're already down to 13 minutes and 50 seconds of that, and we're only on lap number 4 of the contest. So it's going by very quickly, but unfortunately behind the safety car due to all of the incidents that we found ourselves with at the race start.
Yep, that's right. I don't know if did you say yesterday that last lap Lucy was there at the track? You can message her.
well, she was yesterday, but today she's actually at the touring cars as well. So she's she's splitting her days across Silverstone and Donington Park. Well, I won't have time to check anything on social media because we're going back to green flag racing conditions. We're about to get this back underway. Yay. Will McIntyre then leading us all the way through, and we've had restarts across GB4. We had a restart earlier on navigated by Freddie Slater. This time around it's going to be Will McIntyre, who takes a very wide line to give himself the best exit possible, and he is going to leave Keanu Al-Zahari under a bit of pressure as we go on to the start finish straight to go racing once again in the GB3 Championship. And we're going to see Hugo Schwartz under a little bit of pressure further back as we head down to Cops Corner. McIntyre still the race leader, and the top three still are in formation as they make their way through.
Yeah, one of the drivers, I think that was one of the VRD cars running wide at Cops there. 280 brake horsepower in these cars. They are so much faster than they were last year. Freddie Slater's already got the lap record of 1 minute 51, I believe, and that's Deegan Fairclough there. 3 wide with 2 other cars there. It's an XL and one of the Prema by Argenti cars. And Deegan's got the... Yeah, Deegan's got ahead of all of them, so well done to him.
Brilliant stuff. Deegan Fairclough able to get by, and that is exactly what he wanted, and it's Jack Sherwood he was up against.
Yeah, Jack Sherwood and Johan Pusway in the Argenti car, so that would mean that Deegan is already up into 12th place. Great stuff from him.
That is really, really great stuff from him as well as we try and navigate our way through. Car is off the road in the background as we see Slater try go on the attack. If you do go off the road, Wes, to the opening sector of the lap, you're going to have to find yourself losing quite a lot of places because you're having to stick to the right side, and with how the circuit is, and that is going to be a bit of damage coming in for Alex Ninovich, I believe, further back.
Yeah, Alex Ninovich, who I believe was the car who we just saw go off the track. He might have come back on unsafely. It's difficult to say. Under pressure now, I think I saw in the background, was Fairclough once again trying to overtake, I think it was Kanato Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. Will McIntyre won the reverse grid race here last year, by the way, so he's in position to do that once again. So that'll be really interesting to see whether he's able to do it. So Yamakoshi is finding himself moving up through. It was a brilliant start, we have to say, from Yamakoshi as well, gaining quite a lot of places, jumping his teammate and jumping all the way higher up the order. And if Freddie Slater wants to have any effect in this race, he needs to start getting on with it now.
Yeah, we saw that quite a lot in Italian F4 last year. Yamakoshi absolutely brilliant on starts. He gained 6 places on his grid spot, up into 5th place now because he's just got past. Who is that? That's Nikita Johnson, who he's just overtaken.
Yep, that is exactly what's taking place right now. And we are side by side further back. That is going to be Divi Nandan, who is just trying his absolute best to defend, and he's up against Bianco Bustamante, I think that was, further back at this stage as we go on to the Hamilton Straight once again. Slater still looking to see whether there's an opportunity to get ahead of Nikita Johnson, and the overtaking, even for someone like Freddie Slater, the dirty air that there is, definitely still proving to be quite a bit of the challenge, but I'm sure he's going to absolutely try his absolute best to fight and push away by in some of these trains that go on, and I think that's a lock-up for Deegan Fairclough.
Yeah, Deegan Fairclough trying so hard to make his way up the grid, doing quite well at the moment. He's up in 11th place, trying to get on the back of Kanato Lee. And a DRS has now been enabled, so it's been a couple of laps since the safety car, of course, so we haven't had any DRS up until this point. Al-Azhari we're looking at from Patrick Hoysenroder. Hoysenroder starting to apply the pressure to the back of Al-Azhari as Will McIntyre has pulled out a 1-second gap on the both of them at the moment as they come across the line to start lap 7. Fastest lap of the race from Freddie Slater, unsurprisingly, really, as he closes up on the back of Nikita Johnson, 1 minute 54.442. So, yeah, expected really from Slater. He's held the fastest lap of the race in both of the races this weekend so far.
He has indeed. I want to see how he does when it comes to overtaking. Huizenrode trying to get past Al Zahari, who will defend to the inside. Was Huizenrode able to keep his car all the way around the outside? Is he still in contention? It will be interesting to see when the camera next cuts to the pair of them. He's trying to go around the outside as we get into Whale Corners. Al Zahari just placing the car at the critical point where he needs to at this stage in hope of just maintaining this second position. So doing well so far.
Yeah, he's been hit up the backside a couple of times already this weekend. Has Al-Azhari is probably getting quite sick of it at the moment. But Patrick Huizenrode, a very, very experienced driver, especially at this level of racing. So we definitely expect him to be clean. He's trying to get on the inside of Al-Azhari, trying to sell him a dummy. It's just not easy. As they come onto the Wellington Straight, he'll be able to open the DRS. Al-Azhari goes defensive very, very early, trying to break the toe. Huizenrode picks the outside. Can he go around the outside though? No, not quite. Al-Azhari doing a great job in defence.
Really doing a great job. I think Johnson was defending further back up against Slater as well. So I wonder whether Slater was able to get by. He hasn't. So now he's going to have a chance though down towards Cops Corner. So Freddie Slater trying to get overtake on camera with us as well. He's been dominating. He hasn't been overtaking so far. He's not going to do it into Cops Corner. He's going to back out of that one. Definitely not worth the risk as we make our way through. And you can see Pradell just waiting in behind, waiting for an opportunity that there could be as we go through Maggots and Beckett's once again. McIntyre doing really well. The driver won, as I mentioned, this exact race in this exact format 1 year ago. He'll be trying to do the exact same, and he's got a 2.6 second gap with 6 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock to go.
That's right, the timing officials have decided we're probably not going to make all 12 laps in this race, so we're going to go to time. I thought as well, I just saw Darian Arney coming under pressure from Yamakoshi as well. That's one to keep an eye out on. The hill speeds very, very quick in this race, as they have been all weekend.
Yeah, now I've had 2 races under my belt of this championship. It definitely feels a lot more comfortable calling this type of racing as well. And it's definitely making it a lot more enjoyable. In the first race, it's just don't mess it up. Now it's a little bit more relaxed as well, as I know what I'm doing to some degree when it comes to this championship. So Johnson versus Freddie Slater. Freddie Slater trying to set up the move to try and get the power down as we will head on to the Wellington Straight. They're both going to get DRS, but let's see whether Slater will be able to use the stronger toe to pull out of the slipstream and make the move down into Brickland's corner. Meanwhile, we're going to see a dive bomb being attempted by Huizenrode. We won't be able to do it. Side by side go Johnson and Slater. Slater trying to keep his foot in. Oh, there's going to be contact. Slater spins around, and there's going to be also Nikita Johnson involved, and that is going to be Pradell, I believe, who's also having to go off the road. Slater and Johnson make contact, and Pradell also gets caught up in that incident.
Yeah, oh, that was so unfortunate, especially for Pradell. He was just an innocent victim in the whole thing. But both Slater and Johnson have fallen way down now. Slater's fallen down to 14th, Johnson down to 10th.
Yep, that is going to be a major moment in this race. Well, there we go. Slater it didn't really end well, that moment, as Slater tried to get a first overtake underway. Johnson didn't want to give it up at all, and they both came to contact a couple of moments later, as we now make our way through dramatic stuff then here in the GB3 Championship. And we are seeing just trying to fight away by, we're seeing a couple of battles going on at this stage as Deegan Fairclough now looks to see whether he can go on the attack down into the braking zone.
Yeah, I don't want to bring up Formula 1, but I have to say I think Slater was slightly ahead at the apex of the corner, and Johnson unwilling to give it up. So I'm not sure the stewards will look too favourably. Here's a replay now. Slater slightly in front, and oh no, and Slater spun. Slater actually spun and ended up going into the back of Nikita Johnson. That's why they spun around. So it was actually Slater to blame for that one. By the looks of it, they were side by side making contact. There goes Slater, just getting an armful of opposite lock and just unable to correct it. Spins them both around. It's so unfortunate for both of them, and especially Pradell, as I said, who was an innocent victim in the whole thing.
Yep, well, that is dramatic stuff, dramatic GB3 stuff coming into play. And, well, we've had basically everything in this race. We've had a great battle to start the race. We've had safety cars. We've had a bit of contact in the middle of the race as well. It's just been your usual race here in this championship. We have Ewan Postway moving up to 10th position. He was able to get that down on the last lap. 3 minutes still to go.
Yeah, 3 minutes to go. It's definitely been the most action-heavy race of the weekend so far, despite losing the first quarter of the race to the safety car. But yeah, action all the way. Great stuff.
Yes, so the driver in second place, Keanu Al-Zahari, has just been given a black and white flag for weaving, so he's got to be a bit careful. He's been doing quite a bit of work to try to keep the driver of Huizenrode in behind. So that's what's going on there.
That's one of the Roden cars in the pit lane without a driver behind it. Not quite sure who that is. I'll have to have a look.
Is that Ninovich? Did he just, after his front wing damage, decided to retire or something?
Yeah, I think you're right. It is Ninovich. He's shown as being in the pit lane right now. So unfortunate there for Alex Ninovich. He was in contention for a good result in this race.
Yep. Well, it's been a fascinating race, and we're still battling, and that is going to be Deegan Fairclough doing his absolute best to keep some of the driver. He's just got past Kanato Lee as well, so he's going to now try and maintain that position. Lee's going to try fight back all the while. Kanato Lee is also trying to defend, as we see an opportunity coming for Jack Sherwood. Jack Sherwood trying to get past Lee, and is he going to be able to do it all the way around the outside? And he's trying to set up the move. No way through so far.
No, at Brooklands you have to have so much more grip than your opponent in order to go round the outside. It's such a long corner there, and Sherwood wasn't quite able to do it. In all of this chaos, however, from the back of the grid, have you noticed who is in 7th place currently?
Fairclough. Oh,
exactly.
Goodness me.
Oh, he's managed to keep his nose clean in this race, amazingly. So yeah, let's hope the stewards stay off his back for this one.
Yeah, let's hope he's just able to survive. I'm really excited to see how he's going to be able to do. I think it's going to be really fun in the next few rounds as he tries to fight back, as he tries to come back. Talking about coming back, Slater is trying to get past the Red Bull Junior Tony Vackle as well. So let's see whether Slater will be able to fight his way through and deliver an overtake. But we're on the last lap. We're on the last lap of the race.
We are indeed, and it has just sailed past. In all of the chaos and everything, Will McIntyre has managed to stay above it all. He's currently 3.2 seconds ahead of Kino Alizari, who has a little bit. He's seen off the challenge a little bit of Patrick Huizenrode in 3rd place. He's settled down. Kai Darianani is another second behind them in 4th. Although he is still under pressure from Hayu Yamakoshi.
Yep, Will McIntyre has arrived on the last few corners of the last lap, and he won the reverse grid race at Silverstone 1 year ago. He's about to do the exact same as he comes up towards the checkered flag. Will McIntyre wins, and he takes his first victory of the season. A superb performance after he took the lead. He navigated a safety car restart and didn't look back since. Al-Zahari is in 2nd place. A lot of defensive driving from him up against Huizenrode, and then it's going to be Kai Darianani in 4th position, Yamakoshi in 5th, Flusha was in 6th, and then we have Fairclough. What a recovery drive from him, from the back all the way to 7th, Kanato Lee in 8th, and then it was Sherwood in 9th position, and Ewan Pusway finished in 10th. But the day belongs to Will McIntyre. This part of the day belongs to him, and a bit of disappointment for Freddie Slater here at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, finishes in the unlucky number 13th spot. Kind of sums up his race 3, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, perfect position to finish considering how this race has gone. But it's McIntyre who is the winner as he takes the 3rd race of the weekend and takes the reverse grid race once again. A great performance from him and a bit of good confidence heading into the next round for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if this race is anything to go on, I think we're in for an absolute treat calling the rest of this season, Naomi.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. The start of it was quite... well, we definitely had to do quite a bit of talking and filling about other information, but when we got to earlier on, it was some great action, and this has definitely topped it all off. The best race of the weekend happening in the final opportunity. The reverse grid race always manages to deliver. And, I mean, it tells you, even if you have Slater dominating or Fairclough absolutely dominating rounds of this championship, or any other drivers, because we've got loads of talented people here, even if we do have some domination, when it comes to race 3, you always do have the final race to look forward to, where the dominant man is going to have to do a lot of work still.
Yeah, that's right. So is a little bit of everything for everyone as we see the triumphant Will McIntyre coming into the pits. I absolutely love that that Elite Motorsport livery, by the way. The yellow with the black lines on it is superb.
Yep. Absolutely. The next time the GB3 Championship will be in action will of course be at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. That will be on the 17th to 18th May. That is quite a busy weekend in terms of Formula 1, 2, 3 as well. And the Porsche Super Cup starting its season as we mentioned. So I'm unsure whether all the races will be covered, but we'll definitely do bits and bobs here and there whenever the races do not clash, and I'm sure it'll be a really, really fun weekend when they go to Zandvoort. I'm happy though that there is absolutely no issues when it comes to Spa. We'll be able to do that round with ease.
Yeah, that's right. As we see the triumphant Will McIntyre puts his steering wheel back in, and he's going to go over and congratulate his team, no doubt.
Yep, they'll be congratulating him. Keanu Al-Zahari, we saw him of course out of the car early in race 2. It's the podium here in the third race, as we see Will McIntyre being congratulated by Louis Sharp, the rest of the Elite Motorsport team as well, in what has been a superb drive. And really, I mean, he kind of put together the Slater drive, to be fair. Once he got away, he was able to just navigate the safety car restart and dominate from there, not looking back at all.
Yeah, it is so often the way that the driver with the clear track in front of him will get an advantage and have a bit of an easier time of it than the other drivers battling in the mid pack will have. But yeah, great drive from the whole of the top 3 there. And Al-Azhari, who, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, had a very battle-scarred car. Did extremely well to bring it home in what was a well-deserved second place today. Yeah,
I'm just being told a bit of information. Fairclough had a cracked tub earlier on in the weekend, so there is quite a lot going on. I mean, also they're struggling with they're struggling with parts as well, spare parts, which is why we didn't see Ninovic come back out. Okay, it is time to now go and hear from our race winner, Will McIntyre.
You must have been pleased to sort of stay out of trouble. I know Keanu's not afraid of a bit of a lunge.
Yeah, after that one on the first lap, I definitely was like, whoa, okay. But yeah, just after that, I had a really good safety car restart, and yeah, just from then on, just it was that it. But you know, he made it an interesting first lap, especially for you viewers out there. So you know, at least you had something to watch this weekend, I guess.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Look, congratulations. We'll let you continue celebrating.
Thank you.
There we go, Will McIntyre, always thinking about a broadcast first more than anything. We'll have a word with Keanu. I mean, you started on pole position there, you finished second, still a great result. I mean, you're not afraid of making a move, are you?
No, definitely not. Obviously, not the start we wanted. Just misjudged the preload. Obviously, new cars, we haven't got much experience, but I definitely learned from that. Yeah, I mean, some good moves back up to P2, almost P1, but yeah, good job to Will. Obviously, it hasn't been the weekend we wanted. DNF in race 2, working really well with the team, and I want to say a quick thank you to all the boys. They've done such a hard job last night and today to get my car ready for this race. So yeah, it is a reverse grid, but I'll take a P2 and just something positive to take in Zandvoort.
I was going to say, after that incident in the second race, they were very good to get your car ready. That was a sort of tricky moment there, but Did it leave you feeling anything on the grid, or were you just focused on the race ahead of you?
Obviously, I was more focused, but just wanted to bring something back for the team. At least make them happy. It's not been an easy weekend for us, but I'm really looking forward to the next few rounds. I'm sure it's going to get better.
You've left them something very, very pleasing for the weekend, and of course they're going to have to stick a few more pink stickers over that carbon fibre after those repairs, but congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There we go, Keanu Awasari. Where am I going now? Well, I can't see where he is. Here he is, Patrick Oysenroder. Hey Pat, good to see you again. Good podium from you. Talk me through that race.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty hectic first lap. Sort of 4 of us going for P1. Got a bit tight in the chicanes there. But overall, these cars are great to race on lap 1, and then after that's a bit hard to follow. Pretty happy with the tyres. I think we were on our oldest set, so to be able to race on those was nice. And yeah, it was a good battle with Keanu, and yeah, DRS was good to use.
A little bit of chaos out there. I mean, talk me through. Kind of happy to see it around you, but not involving you.
Yeah, it's good to see it in the mirrors. I saw some smoke. But it was all eyes forward pretty much. As soon as I was gaining spots, it was just eyes forward and try and get past the next one. So very happy. We've worked hard to get the car into the window this weekend. We weren't quite there in qualifying, so to give the boys a podium is really good.
I'm aware lots of people back home will be watching in the middle of the night. Do you want to say something to them?
Yeah, and I forgot to thank the boys in New Zealand, so that goes out to them.
Excellent, so congratulations, Pat.
Cheers, thanks.
There we go. Patrick Oysenroder with Excel Motorsport, one of the new teams on our grid this year. And for the final time in the GB3 Championship this weekend, let's have a look at the podium. Lewis McGlade will talk you through it.
Yep, Lewis McGlade will talk the world feed through it, while myself and Wes will return to welcome the drivers onto the podium. Now, Wes, we actually missed this part when it came to race 2, because the GB3 stream broke. Now, their stream broke completely, so we didn't actually get to see the podium. It luckily came back for some of the other interviews, but yeah, we completely missed the podium due to the GB3 stream breaking, and I saw loads of confusion in their chats and stuff, but everything luckily returned for them, and we could bring some interviews after that. But well, it's time to welcome 3 deserving drivers onto this podium.
Yeah, that's right. I loved Will McIntyre's interview. He was absolutely overcome. He reminded me of a mate of mine I used to meet down the pub. He just kind of was, all in his own little world. But yeah, absolutely deserving. I think he was still kind of in the zone, hadn't quite left it yet.
Yep, absolutely. So it will be interesting to see how he gets on for the rest of the season. Definitely a consistent option for the teams to have, and a really, really fascinating way to kick off this season, and a great way to kick off this season with the opening round as we wait for those drivers to get to the podium and the first, second and third position spots. Now, all of our results and everything have disappeared, as we mentioned. We've got the Ginetta GT Championship that is about to get underway, which is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Wes, will you be watching that?
Yeah, I'll give it a little watch, I think. I quite like to watch a Ginetta race every now and then. I think not the Ginetta GT Championship, but as the drivers are coming out onto the grid now, I mean.
Yep, here we go. We find ourselves with Oysenroder, then Keanu Al-Zahari, and our race winner, Will McIntyre, who is giving the handshakes to the 2 drivers standing alongside. Here to present the trophy, Louis Sharp, the reigning champion of this category, giving the 3rd place trophy to Oysenroder, and then it will be next given by Callum Woisen to Keanu Al-Zahari, part of the Alpine Academy, of course. And then Louis Sharp, I can see he's preparing to walk back out to hand the race winner, Will McIntyre, his winner's trophy, and that'll be one that he will savour. Well, he got the exact same one last year, and he's got it again. I think he loves a bit of reverse grid racing here at Silverstone by the looks of things, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on as they will now pose for the photos. Here comes Freddie Slater as well.
Is that because he's the rookie winner?
I possibly could be. I'm guessing they still classify him as a rookie, even if he did a round or two last year.
Well, that's right. Yeah, he was in it last year.
Yeah, I don't know if they
Completely
classify him. Well, of course, he would have got the pole position award that that GB3 handout. I wonder what it's for. That they might just be crowning it here at the end of the weekend, or for getting 2 victories, or whatever on earth happened. But all I know, it was pretty dominant. Right, let's take a look at our race highlights from this one. It was 4 wide and contact was made, and I'm actually going to rewind our stream. We're now not. We find ourselves, of course, with all of the action done. I'm going to rewind momentarily and just get ourselves to the contact down. Okay, so it was Slater who made contact with. There we go.
Yeah, it was Slater. So second time he made contact in that race. This being the first one, he took out Noah Lyle, and then later on would take out Nikita Johnson. So yeah, when he's not leading from the front, Freddie Slater, he's not afraid to get his elbows out, is he?
Yeah, not afraid to get his elbows out at all. I remember the Italian F4 race at Monza last year. There was some great battling going on. I think Alex Powell was battling up against Slater. Those were some amazing battles to watch. And then quite a lot going on throughout the race. Some great overtaking, some great battling. Deegan Fairclough was making some overtakes as he made the move on Jack Sherwood and found himself moving up a position. Husenroder was trying to overtake, trying to make some moves. And then we had contact made between Johnson and Slater. And Johnson's car slid into the part of Pradell. And that meant that it was the end of his race. I can see the green flags are flying for the Ginetta GT Championship race as well. That's just come up on our screen. But yes, we're not commentating on that. We are just finishing the end of this race. But I guess you can see the timings as that race goes on. And then we found ourselves with Will McIntyre getting to the checkered flag first for the second time here at Silverstone in the reverse grid race in a row. Right. Well, it's time to take a look at our results. Will McIntyre finished in first position. Right before I actually read them out, I'm going to see if we're able to get the image of the results as well. Whether the classification has come, and it has come. So we are going to be able to get to you that, luckily. In the meantime, Wes, well, of course, it's great to see that we were able to get a little bit of better racing here to end the weekend compared to some of the quietness of race 1.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be interesting to see how the DRS plays out in some of the other circuits we have on the calendar. Of course, Silverstone, known for being mostly straights, you would think lends itself more to DRS, but it might not necessarily be the case. Of course, Zandvoort is next up on the 17th and 18th of May, so we've got a little while. Got a little while to wait until we see that.
Man, does it all start at once though. Formula 1, Formula 2, well, Formula 1 of course are going to have a round at Miami, but then we have Formula 2 returning, Formula 3 returning, and then with the Porsche Super Cup starting its season. It's all going to happen that weekend as well, and I think we've got a Formula E round that week as well. There's quite a bit going on, so it's going to be quite a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll try to bring you as much as we can of the GB3 Championship, but certain races may not be streamed. I hope race 3. I hope we are able to cover race 3. That will definitely be quite a lot of fun. Even if we aren't able to do some of the other rounds. Okay, well, we got the results on screen for you quickly as well. We did see car number 12, Alex Ninovich, get a 10-second time penalty for false start. Doesn't matter in the end because he found himself retiring. But to run you now through the results, it was Will McIntyre who ended as the winner. Keanu Al-Zahari finishing in second place. Our false sitter dropped down off the start. Husenroder was in third. Kai Darianani was in fourth. Yamakoshi was in fifth. It was a great start from him, replicating what he did in Italian F4 last year, which was also very, very great to see. And then we found ourselves with Lucas Flusha in 6th, Fairclough was in 7th, and then it was Canatoli in 8th. Jack Sherwood was in 9th position for XL Motorsports. They still get used to this championship, and then it was Yuan Pusue in 10th. Johnson was in 11th, Tanvanikul was in 12th, Slater with contact was in 13th, Seawortham was in 14th, Schwarzer was in 15th, and then Abrams was in 16th, Jacques in 17th, Nandon in 18th, Bustamante in 19th, and we have Bostanjiv who finished in 20th position. And then it was Ninovich, Pradell, Pulling, Goda, and Lyle, who all did not see the flag after quite a bit of chaos when it came to the race here at GB3. GB3. And of course we still have a GB4 race to go around this circuit, so that'll be really fun to see how that is going to play. We won't be streaming it, but it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that, Wes, to see how that goes. And up until the race earlier on, where we had Elite Motorsport get 1, 2 and 3, until that moment we had something like 6 or 7 winners in a row if we include the back end of last season in terms of new winners.
Yeah, that's right. It's never dull in that championship, and of course the championship went all the way down to the wire last year, so always worth a watch.
Yep, absolutely, always worth a watch indeed. It's always interesting to see how it all plays out in that championship. And of course they are using the same specification of car as GB3 from the last few years, just a couple of changes to make it to GB4 level. So it's also a great thing to have, Wes, in terms of we're able to identify and see then how it is like to the new GB3 car versus the old GB3 car, because they all race here on the same weekend. So it's always helpful with that, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's of course downgraded from the specs that GB3 would have used last year, as you said. So it complies with Formula 4 regulations. Of course, that does mean as well, for which GB4 didn't have last year, they now have the Halo. Which I know all of the drivers were nothing but complimentary about at the start of the season.
Okay, time to wrap up the show with interviews. Over to you, Piers Pryor.
Got back up after the start, got behind Nikita, and then we had a bit of contact. Obviously, I don't know what fully happened and what really went wrong, but yeah, dropped back again and finished 13th somehow. So no, overall I think we've had a really positive weekend. The pace has been really good, and yeah, it's obviously unfortunate to finish like that, but no, that's racing.
We've seen a nice new hat for you there, Sunoco fastest driver of the weekend, with your exceptional pace you've been having this weekend. Where's that pace come from? We don't think we've seen a dominance like that in terms of pace in this championship for a very long time.
I think it's just the hard work we've done over winter. I think with my management team, my coach, we put so much effort in the winter times, so then it makes it look easy, you know, when it comes to the race weekends, but it's definitely not easy. But yeah, no, Hill Speed and my engineer, Mr. A, has given me such a fantastic car to go out there from lap 1 at the start of this weekend to try and dominate, and yeah, we did exactly that.
Well, Freddie, it's been a very good start to the season for you. Of course, F3 a couple of weeks ago, GB3 now. We'll see you back again, and well, I'm sure a lot of the other drivers are hoping you're not going to be quite as quick as you were. We'll leave you off, and we'll go a quick word with Kai Darianani, who was right out there in that race as well, finishing 4th on the road, just missing out on a podium.
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating. I mean, I got a really good start, and just like one sort of little decision in Beckett's kind of led to getting a bit boxed in Stowe and Vale, so that was a bit unfortunate. But yeah, I think other than that, could have been a better race, but it also could have been worse. So some positives and things to work on.
I think there's definitely some positives to take away from this weekend. Of course, your teammate Noah had a really strong race in race 1 and race 2, but arguably I'd say you were probably a bit quicker in practice. Didn't quite get it sorted out for qualifying, but surely you're going to use that as confidence going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the positive is, the biggest one is that we've got the pace, even over the teammates. So yeah, obviously it's just about executing that in qualifying and even in the races, and yeah, you can go to Zandvoort with some confidence and really work hard to be there.
I'm hearing that a lot of the drivers are looking forward to racing these cars around Zandvoort. Are you one of those?
Absolutely. I think it'll be a load of fun. We raced there in F4 as well, and that was a lot of fun as well. But yeah, we'll be doing some prep with Drivers Lab as well for the event. And yeah, I do want to say a big thanks to the team, because they've done a lot of work, and they've done a great job with the car. And thank you to them.
Kai, we'll let you go and wind down after what's been a pretty crazy first weekend. Congratulations on some good results, and I'll bring John back in. John, race 1 and race 2, fairly subdued. Race 3, not so much.
Yeah, I was sat behind you and Piers in the commentary booth, and it was just like, I mean,
arms, limbs. It was basically limbs. It was like you're in the away end of Nottingham Forest, hopefully winning the FA Cup semi-final. I think they're losing already, so that's not great, is it? Chance Freddie Slater there. It's a shame we're not going to see him next time out, but we will see him at Spa again. And I have a feeling at Spa he's going to be pretty good as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, if he's anything like this weekend, then it's going to be tough to beat. Spa's a different circuit. High speed similar to Silverstone, but a lot more straight line running. So setups on the cars will be very slightly different. Of course, a lot of the teams who have not maybe hit the ground running this weekend will take steps forwards, I'm sure, with the testing they have between now and then. So lots to look forward to. The The picture has not been completely painted for the year yet.
No, not at all. Well, there is lots to look forward to. Also got to say a big thank you to everyone watching around the world. We've got people watching in Australia, we've got people watching on the west coast of America, and I'm sure throughout Europe as well. And that is the end of the GB3 Championship this weekend. Of course, loads to look forward to coming up as well. We still have one more race in the GB4 Championship coming up after this. For GB3 though, Saturday the 1st of May, as the 17th of May, sorry, the 4th round of the championship as we go over to the Netherlands again for the 3rd year running. Zandvoort, 2 races there as normal, then of course the reverse grid race, which will show some chaotic stuff. I'm sure we've seen a lot of chaos in Formula 1 around Zandvoort, and I imagine it will translate as well into the GB3 Championship as well. And of course we have the GB4 Championship, one more race of that coming up as well. We'll be live just after, I think 10 past 5, maybe 20 past 5, so we'll see you back here. But
well, you know where to join them then, in terms of GB4, and you know when to join us in terms of GB3. But Wes, we're going to continue going on for a couple more minutes. Overall, what's been your opening thoughts then on this season? What have you learnt? What's been your main takeaways?
I think that this has been a brilliant championship. It's not been perfect. I think there's still some questions up in the air regarding how much DRS is whether it's a positive effect for the championship or not. We'll have to wait and see. Watch more races to see if that's the case or not. As in terms of just the drivers, though, it's a really strong field. They can battle hard. They can get their elbows out, and it's just so entertaining to watch. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Indeed. So we're going to be heading to Zandvoort next. What's your thoughts on that circuit? Of course, the drivers have mentioned they're very excited to drive around it. What's your thoughts heading to that round?
So Zandvoort has a reputation for being quite narrow. It's got some very fast corners in it that only really have one line. So if we thought overtaking was difficult here at Silverstone, it's going to be extremely difficult at Zandvoort. So there could, and of course it's quite a tricky circuit as well. So we might see some off-road excursions. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to say, but years gone by have been fairly interesting, so it could go either way.
Yep, we're going to see surely qualifying go quite wild. You're going to see drivers out of positions. It's going to be quite a lot of fun to see how that's going to play out. No Freddie Slater, who do you think could be the person who possibly takes over some of that domination?
I mean, the momentum's certainly going to be with Will McIntyre after that dominant performance. If Deegan Fairclough can get over the bad luck that he's had in this event, we could see him up at the front, and hopefully Abby Pulling can recover from the disappointment of this race and do well next time out.
Okay, final question then. Overall thoughts on, first of all, covering this championship, and final thoughts as we leave Silverstone, I guess.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Silverstone, for producing a very entertaining event as ever. And I think the championship is been vastly improved by the introduction of the new car, and all the drivers seem to love it, and I love it too.
Yep, it definitely looks quite on the edge. It looks so fun for the drivers to just watch them driving around. It's been quite a lot of fun to open this round of the championship, my first ever time covering this GB3 championship, so we appreciate everyone who has given us time to get used to everything, and hopefully we're going to have a lot more fun like we did today. Now, next round, we are of course at Zandvoort. I don't have a clue on timings or any of that stuff. That is still to be announced, so we're going to have to wait and see what the conflicting schedules are, what clashes, what doesn't. If there is some clashes, then unfortunately we won't be able to bring you live coverage of the races as well. I'm sure there will be one or two that we could possibly do, so we're going to try to bring you as much as we can on that weekend, but it is quite a busy weekend, so we'll be slotting in wherever we can. But we appreciate absolutely everyone who's joined us as we cover a new championship on JB Motorsports, and I'm excited to say that that will continue next week, because we add Frecker to the bill as well, which we did cover at the back end of last year for one round, but we're doing it full time this year, and a new championship that we're also covering is Italian F4. So looking forward to that. That all takes place next week. E4 will be later on in the year as well. But GB3 returns at Zandvoort, so we once again want to say thank you for joining us across this opening weekend of a new era of GB3, and we hope you do so once again when the championship goes racing in Zandvoort. Goodbye.